Now, how has the game changed since the App Store began? Back when the App Store launched in July 2008, guess how many apps it hosted? 1,000, 10,000, 100,000? Nope, it had 500. That's it, just 500 apps. Now, guess how many downloads occurred during the first weekend alone? 1,000, 10,000, a million? Nope, on the first weekend, when there were only 500 apps in the App Store, there were 10 million app downloads. For those of you trying to do the maths, that's an average of 20,000 downloads per app in one weekend. Just imagine that, in one weekend. Kind of makes you wish you had apps back then. That was then followed by 100 million downloads in the first 3 months. After a year, there were already 65,000 apps, but there had been a staggering 1.5 billion downloads. This is an average of 23,000 downloads per app in 1 year. Back then, all you had to do was upload an app, maybe sell it at $1 or $2, and you would make a fortune. You didn't need almost any marketing or App Store optimization. That's why it's also known as the gold rush. But anyway, that was back then, and now we're here. We have already seen the app stores by the numbers, and you may have noticed that last year the App Store had nearly 1.25 million apps, and Google Play had almost 1.5. So how do you, a mere mortal, upload an app and have someone find it out of such a large pool of apps? How can you beat so many developers, some of which may have better programming skills than you? Simple, you gotta be smarter. You gotta focus on more people finding your app than actually building it. And that's where most developers go wrong. And that is the main idea of the course. Spend your time and energy on having your app being found rather than perfecting it and building it from the ground up. So now, with so many apps already uploaded, has the game changed at all? The answer is yes, it has. A lot. How? Well, let's look at some numbers. First of all, the number of downloads per app in the app stores. A single App Store app currently has an average of 40,000 downloads, while a single app on Google Play currently has an average of 60,000 downloads. Now, I want you to understand that these are not the numbers you should expect to see from your apps. I mean, maybe you will, but don't think that because it's the average you will get it. The problem with these numbers is that they include all the way from the worst app with only 10 downloads up to apps like Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat that have millions of downloads. Basically, every single app. So the reason I am showing you the numbers is so you get an idea of the sizes and opportunities in the app stores. You should probably be aiming for around 5 to 10% of this number of downloads a month. So 2,000 to 4,000 downloads a month for the App Store and 3,000 to 6,000 downloads a month for Google Play. Next, we have a look at the revenue per download of free apps. On Google Play, a free app will give you roughly 1.8 cents a month per download, while a single download from the App Store will give you roughly 10 cents a month. Now, this is a massive difference and is one of the reasons I am in the App Store rather than Google Play. Another being that I have an iPhone as opposed to an Android phone. But that does not mean you shouldn't go to Google Play if that's what you prefer. Or you can do both. In this course, I'm going to cover both the App Store and Google Play, as I said earlier, so it's entirely up to you. It is also worth noting that you should expect higher revenues than these per download, since I will teach you how to monetize, optimize, and market your apps better than what most developers currently in the app stores do. Now, with revenues such as these, what strategy is best? What is the best way to go about it? After all, we want to maximize profit, right? Well, let me explain it to you by giving you 3 different scenarios. You could be a programmer. You could work really hard on programming your apps. You could spend, 2 to 3 or 4 weeks making your apps. You could also have some decent design skills on Photoshop and spend some time making your own graphics. Now, you're gonna work really hard and your app will probably be programmed very well, but that's not what the user will see. The user will see the design. And if you have some decent design skills, that means your app is just gonna be decent looking. It's not gonna look that great. Or maybe you're a designer and then you just wanna focus on having an awesome design, but then you don't have that good programming skills, so your app may crash, or you may be limited in functionality because you just don't know how to add those features. So you are gonna spend a long time working on this app, and it's just not gonna look that great in the end. It's not gonna be a great app because it's gonna be very hard to do. So let's say that you spend 4 weeks or 5 weeks working on it, and then you're really proud of it because you put a lot of effort. But then by the end, you're probably tired and you just want it done and over with, and you just want to upload it. So when you get to the App Store, or the Google Play, you just write a quick description and put some keywords, give it a title, maybe create a quick icon, get some screenshots, and then you just upload it. Now, because you didn't do any ASO or any marketing, people are going to have a really hard time finding your app. So you may end up making, $80 a month from the app. If you're lucky, you'll make 100, and you worked 4 or 5 weeks on it. Now that's not a good deal. Now, the other thing you can do is you can form a partnership. You can talk to one of your friends. Maybe you can specialize on programming and the other person can specialize on designing, or maybe you can specialize on programming and designing and the other person can specialize on marketing and optimization. I personally would suggest that either you or your partner focus on marketing and App Store optimization, and then the other person focuses on design and on programming. Now, in here, it's a bit hard to know how you're going to split it. Maybe you just want to split profits 50-50. And because one of you is going to be focusing on App Store optimization and marketing, that means that more people will find your apps. So that means that you may end up getting an average of $400 a month on downloads. And let's say that it takes you or your partner maybe 3 weeks to build an app. Let's be optimistic and say that it takes you 2 weeks or takes your partner 2 weeks. So that means that you would be able to upload around 2 apps a month. And if each one of the apps gives you roughly $400, then that means it's $800 a month. But then you have to split it. So each one of you is going to make $400 a month. That will keep on adding up a little bit. But in the end, that is only good if you want a hobby. I don't think that is the best way to go about it if you want an actual business. The third scenario would be that you focus on App Store optimization and marketing, which is what actually makes you money, and then you outsource the rest. Instead of splitting the profits 50-50 like in the partnership, you get someone else, you hire someone else to build it, to write the code, and someone else to do the design. You let them worry about those things and then you pay them for it. But you're going to pay them a set amount. And your app is going to make more than that, a lot more. So that means that your margin of profit is going to be larger. And also because you're outsourcing all of these things, the programming and the design, you can get a lot more apps done a lot quicker. Because people that specialize in programming or design are doing it, so they will work faster. And you could contact many more people as well if you want. So this way, you could upload, let's say, 4 apps a month. And because you're focusing on optimizing them, you may also end up making around $400 per app. Now that's $1,600 a month that will keep on adding up. And maybe you pay $100 or $150 all up per app, or $200. Now, if you uploaded 4 apps, that's $600 and you made $1,000 a month. And that, like I said, will keep on adding up. In this course, I'm going to focus on this third strategy. I'm going to teach you the best ways to outsource, the best ways to cut costs, the best ways to optimize for the App Store, and basically just focus on making money, on making profit, on increasing revenue and cutting costs. In the next videos, I will be talking about the strategy that we will be following in order to achieve this target.